Hello and welcome to My Xbox and Me, episode 312. I am one of your hosts, MC Fixer, alongside the one and only Fixer Kresh. Kresh, how are you?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, huzzah.
I tried putting a little bit of energy into it. I tried putting a little bit of energy into it. As soon as, I'll be honest, as soon as like the words, I thought of the words in my head, I was like, that's not right.
That's
and it was too late. They were already out.
That's not it. That's not it. I respect you trying, though. I respect you trying. No. Kresh, how have you been?
I've been okay. Not too bad. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm tired. Very tired. I had a very busy week. Kresh, you're now looking at a man that is going to have been on TV.
Ooh. Oh, yeah, you did.
TV. I was on Jinx.
Yeah.
I was on
How'd
Jinx.
That,
yeah, it was good. Do you know, I always say, I don't know. I don't know if it's good or not. They seemed happy with it afterwards, and there was feedback from the community who were watching live on their Twitch channel, said they did a great job. But you know what it's like? This job is so weird. The same with like streaming, like and stuff like that. It's like, when do you know you're good at it? When people start showing up? So, well, that doesn't mean you weren't good beforehand, right? It just means that you got the exposure finally. So, yeah, I honestly, did I do a good job? God knows, but it's going on TV, so it must be all right.
It's presentable.
It must be all right.
That's the best you can do, is be presentable.
Exactly. Anything new going on with you?
No, not particularly. Not that anything I can think of off the top of my head. No.
Fair enough. If you didn't know, My Xbox and Me is our weekly Xbox podcast here on youtube.com/myxboxandme, and of course on all podcast services. If you want the show early, or maybe you want an extra show, could be coming soon, you head over to patreon.com/mcfixer to keep the lights on, keep the show going, and support us with your monies. I know monies are hard to come by, so if you cannot do that, just keep watching. We appreciate it. Make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit the subscribe button on the YouTube channels, and obviously support us over on our personal channels as well. It would help a great deal. Kresh, I thought we would talk about the elephant in the room right now, because seems like the community has fallen short, unfortunately, for you.
Look, honestly, Halo with the Boys wasn't going to happen.
I mean,
for
it was.
Another reason.
No, that's not true.
No, I'm not saying you wouldn't have done it.
What, you're saying I didn't get invited?
No, I'm saying Matt P messed up.
Yeah, but if we found a workaround for that.
Oh, okay.
There is a workaround for that. But
got it.
For those who don't know, the hashtag Halo with the Boys, has been running around our little community and the ecosystem. It's been in the YouTube comments.
Yeah.
It's been on Twitter. It's been on Instagram. It's literally on TV now, because it was mentioned in the Jinx.tv chat while I was doing my Jinx episode, and it got read out live on TV as well. So it's a global phenomenon at this point. Like, that's just the facts. Just the facts. But the goal was to get us to 1,500 subs, and we currently sit at 1,474 subs. Now, we did gain a whole 43 subs in the last 28 days. It's not that the community didn't try, because they did. But
you know what the problem is? Most of the people that really wanted it
already subbed
to the YouTube. To the YouTube, yeah.
Yes.
So I thank you for the perseverance, for all the hashtags, but it wasn't meant to be.
But unfortunately, Halo with the Boys has died, and I don't have to.
Did you know there's another
test
next week? Next week.
Do you want me to extend it one more week?
If you want. It's up to you.
I'll extend it one more week. 1,500 subs. I can't do math, but we are at 1,474. I know that number's closer to 1,500 than it is the closest to 1,400. So, get your little fingers out. Listeners, I know you're there. We see the numbers each week. Go and subscribe to youtube.com/myxboxandme. We'd appreciate it.
26 away.
Quick math.
Quick math.
Quick math. Kresh.
Fix.
Topic of the show this week. Topic of the show is the initiative has partnered with Crystal Dynamics on the brand new Perfect Dark game. This one has come absolutely out of nowhere. Like, literally out of nowhere, and tells me the game's a lot further off than I think we were all anticipating, if I'm being totally honest with you. But let me read this. The initiative has partnered with Crystal Dynamics on Perfect Dark for Xbox Series X/S and PC. The initiative developer of the upcoming first-person shooter, Perfect Dark, announced Thursday that the team is partnering with Crystal Dynamics in order to develop the upcoming near-future spy thriller. This was posted on their Twitter account that says, Perfect Dark update. We are partnering with Crystal Dynamics, the world-class team behind character-driven games such as Tomb Raider, to bring this first-person spy thriller to new generations. Kresh, how does that make you feel?
Weird.
Okay. Why?
I don't think a little bit worrisome in terms of like when the game will come out now. That's number one. Which, to be fair, I wasn't expecting it relatively soon anyway, so that's not a big deal. But like when I think of Crystal Dynamics, I don't think of Tomb Raider anymore. I think of Avengers, and that's where it's like, I'm like, ooh, is that really the best thing? And they did make Tomb Raider, but Tomb Raider is also a third-person game, and this is a first-person game.
They made
there are differences. 2
fantastic Tomb Raiders, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, they didn't make the third one, which I never played, but they made 2. The reboot of Tomb Raider was amazing. I think those games, a lot of people, I say a lot of people, everyone is here or there with it. Everyone has their own opinions, and that's what makes it so great, and that's why there's a million different podcasts out there. I think the first Tomb Raiders of the reboot series were really, really good. I really enjoyed them. I liked the character development. I liked the level design. I liked being on a third person, obviously helped for me. But I liked what they did, and I'm a little bit. I'm in the same boat as you with this one, where on one hand I'm like, this makes perfect sense. They need what do Microsoft need? They need good narrative. What did Tomb Raider have? Good narrative. What else do they need? Like good world building. What did Tomb Raider have? Good world building. Like all the things that game needed, they should now get in Perfect Dark. But you cannot look past the fact that we did just come off Avengers, which some people could argue the story of Avengers, good. Character development, decent.
Yeah.
Of Kamala Khan, especially, very good, I would say. But maybe it falls a bit flat with everybody else. But with that one specific character, and if they are focusing on just one specific character, which they would be in Perfect Dark, it could work.
Is the partnership for narrative-based stuff? Is it like a writing partnership? It's probably not.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the intricacies of this relationship. Yeah. What do we do? What we do know, I should say, is the initiative did say on Twitter that it is in early development, which I think that's what we all expected anyway. And yeah, it's a partnership that I think works. The one thing that I wonder is how many people are actually working in the initiative then? Because they've been hiring and hiring. So how deep a lead is Crystal Dynamics taking on this? Is it a case of we've got all our heads at the initiative and they're going to be able to direct it in the way they want, and they've got the vision, and now Crystal are going to partner with them and do a lot of the heavy lifting? Or is it a 50-50? Is it a 70-30? Is it a... What is this relationship, and how deep on this project are Crystal Dynamics going to be?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm interested. I'm also like interested in what it means for Crystal Dynamics going forward, that they're going to be working with the initiative on this. Like, what does that mean for any future projects they would do solo? Is this
Hold
sort
that
of
thought,
like
Crash. Hold that thought, because we have a question from the one and only Little Smee, who says, in the wake of Perfect Dark's announcement, could you see a world where Crystal Dynamics becomes an Xbox game studio? No. Crystal are owned by Square, if I'm not mistaken. I am getting that correct. Why would Square sell off one studio that, okay, they've gone through a bit of a tumultuous time. The problem I think you have is Tomb Raider didn't sell as well as they wanted it to. Marvel's Avengers didn't sell as well as they wanted it to. Now they're like, okay, what do we do with you? Xbox have probably come along and said, we need someone to make our Perfect Dark game. We like what you did with Tomb Raider. Let's partner up on this one specific thing. I'm sure they have a bunch of other IP that they could be working on within Square. I'm sure Square has their own ideas for them going forward. I personally don't think Crystal will, like, they're not done out here on these streets. They've made good games. Like, you can't put it past the fact they've made good games. But no, I personally don't think this means anything more than what it is, which is it's a partnership. I mean, the only other thing you could see is Xbox then buying the whole of Square Enix. But no, other than that, I don't see this being anything more than that.
I could see a world where Square Enix sells Crystal Dynamic. I don't know if I could see a world where Microsoft specifically goes just for Crystal Dynamics.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking back on their key games they've made, right? So it is Avengers, Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider. They did, obviously, Shadow of the Tomb Raider did a part of that as well. Soul Reaver, Tomb Raider Legends, Tomb Raider Anniversaries, Tomb Raider Underworld. Sorry about the sirens if you can hear them. Like, they are very much a Tomb Raider studio. And yeah, they've worked on Avengers and do I even think this is a good fit for Xbox in terms of, like, buying them? Because that's obviously going to be the questions that everyone wants to hear about. Should Xbox buy Crystal Dynamics? If you look at their track record, not really, I guess. No. They're not like, what's the word I'm looking for? What's the studio I'm looking at? Who did Spider-Man? I can't skip in my mind. They're not Insomniac, where, like, they made a lot of good games, and they made some bad games. There's no taking away from that. Like, they made a lot of good games, and they tried something new a lot of the time. Tomb Raider is still Tomb Raider. It just looks a lot better, and yeah, it grew with its mechanics, but it was still Tomb Raider at the end of the day. And whether that was because they wanted to keep doing Tomb Raider or Lara Croft games, I don't know. But yeah, it's an interesting one.
I would be interested if this did end up going through. Would the Tomb Raider IP go with them? You'd assume it would, right?
No,
you don't. Think
no,
so?
I wouldn't assume it would. No, Square owned. I'd assume that Square owned the IP, which I believe they do. But so why would Square? So you're saying?
I feel
Xbox would buy Crystal Dynamics, and then Xbox would then want to buy Tomb Raider as well. Which
I think Xbox would only buy them as a package deal. I don't think Xbox would go and buy just Crystal Dynamics.
But I don't think Crystal Dynamics need Tomb Raider. I think Xbox do need a third-party studio. I do need a studio that make third-person games, though. So
got it.
The question is, do you believe, and this is, sorry to trigger some people, but do you believe that Crystal Dynamics can make a game on the same level as what PlayStation do on the third-party front? Because that is what they are. They are missing out on that on their plethora of games. I was in a tweet. I was not in a tweet thread, but I almost got in a tweet thread with somebody the other day because I was like, PlayStation games, first-party games are so much better than Xbox's, and that narrative just doesn't make sense. In my opinion, Xbox have the best racing game. They have the best RPG, the Western RPGs. They have the best simulation game now. Like, there's still more to... They've got the best platform of this generation. Unless you... in my mind, Kenna's review wasn't out. Okay. And I would prefer Ratchet and Clank over... Okay. I'll take that one off. I can take that one off, fine. What else? I'd say they've got the best cover-based shooter.
Yeah, no doubt.
They've got the best.
But
so I'm getting off topic a little bit here. But my point is, the question I'm asking you really is, do you believe Crystal Dynamics can make a game on the level of a Last of Us, a God of War, with backing? If you've got the funding of what Sony have given those studios, and Naughty Dog, which are obviously one of the best studios out there, or any of these third person games that PlayStation currently have, do you believe Crystal can compete on that level? Because that's when I say yes, they should go get them. But if not, no.
I think there's only one game in their like portfolio, and it's a pretty it's not a small portfolio that actually leads me to think that they do, and it's the second Tomb Raider they made.
Rise.
And that partly is and that's partly it's Tomb Raider. There's already like a head start with that. So I don't know if you give them a brand new IP, can they make something like that? I don't.
For me, it was still Tomb Raider. It wasn't like God of War when it was like God of War was God of War until it became God of War.
I think you might be underselling like how different the Tomb Raider reboot.
I understand. I do understand how different they are. I just don't think it was. There's a thing that happens when you become a first party studio. We expect more. At least I'll speak for myself. I expect more. And I currently, in what I've played and been shown in Crystal Dynamics' portfolio, none of it is 10 out of 10. None of it is even 9 out of 10. I think it's an 8 and 7s, which is good. I'm not saying that's not a good thing to be, and that's not a good thing to have, but Xbox have already got plenty of 6s, 7s, and 8s. The initiative was supposed to be the quadruple A studio. Don't ever let it get it twisted. That is how they mark the studio. Quadruple A.
I think you are forgetting about a big thing, and that is Game Pass. So I'm not forgetting about it.
I think that's the problem with the conversation. Is we always bring up Game Pass, which again, Game Pass is fantastic. Game Pass is amazing. Game Pass is the best value. But that shouldn't then mean we are okay with not getting the best experiences we can on Xbox.
Sure, but that doesn't, like, them buying Crystal Dynamic doesn't mean that the best experience isn't going to happen. It just means there is this additional studio to develop games for Game Pass.
But I just think
what you're equating is like, if they buy Crystal Dynamic, they're missing out somewhere else. That's not
no. That's not what I'm saying. No. What I'm saying is, my reasoning for this conversation more is, are Crystal Dynamics a studio of the level that we would want as a first-party studio? Like, I understand all the maneuvers they've made up to this point for Game Pass. Double Fine, great studio pick up for Game Pass. Obsidian, another one. Like, there are plenty of good studios that they have picked up that I'm like, makes sense. The good studios. State of Decay studio being Until Dawn, Jesus. Undead Labs. Like, there's the correlation. Like, obviously that was already there, but you understand what I'm trying to get at. Like, we've already built out what Game Pass is now.
Yeah,
we've already built that out. It's built out. It's done. We've got Dustfall coming. We've got Grounded coming, like full release. We've got Starfield coming. We've got Avowed. We've got Redfall. We've got Ghostwire Tokyo eventually will be there. We've got Perfect Dark, Contraband, Project Mara, Fable. Like, the list goes on. Everwild. We have the library now. Now, for me, when Xbox sign the next studio they buy or whatever it is, it needs to be about quality. I'm done with quantity now. Like, you've got right now. What have you got that is the top playground right now with Fable? We don't know if that's going to be good.
Yep.
You know, the next Spider-Man game that comes out, we know it's going to be good. We know it's going to be good. We don't know it's going to be amazing. We don't know it's going to be 10 out of 10, but we know it's going to be good. We do not know that Playground's Fable is going to be good. We can't. It's a studio we don't even know. We've never seen them do like action. We assume the world's going to be beautiful. Yeah. We assume there's a lot they can get right. Yeah. But we don't know it's going to be good. And I think that's what I'm waiting for, which is the next studio of like, can I envision that they are going to be the studio? They are going to be the studio that we know that can come in and do the grunt work and do the work that needs to be done. And again, we are talking about a hypothetical situation here, but this is going to be the question people are going to be asking across the internet now. Should Xbox buy them? I am of the mind, no.
Yeah. I think it depends. I think for right now, I'm more siding with you, but I think depending on how it goes with the initiative and Perfect Dark and how that whole works out, that answer could change after, especially when initiative's working with them and whatever. I'm sure Microsoft at that point will have a much better insight.
Plus, if the game does well, number one, that's going to help it. Number two,
yeah,
they will understand the working relationship they have then with this studio, and they've got to know people and things like that. Plus, why would Square want to sell it?
Yeah,
I don't see why Square would want to sell, personally.
There was the rumor about Microsoft buying a studio and a big studio.
Yeah.
And then this partnership, does that lead you to think at all that it's Square Enix?
I hope it isn't, because I don't. Do you know what? The gamer in me doesn't want them to buy everything. I truly don't. Like, I understand why it would be a good thing. I understand why it'd be a fantastic thing for Xbox, but there is a part of me that's just like, do we really want all this big company buying everything up? And we know that we know for a fact PlayStation are buying more. PlayStation are buying more. We know that. I think from an IP point of view, I think it would be amazing from Xbox, like to have Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, Life is Strange, Nier, Dragon Age, like Outriders, because we could do Outriders 2. There's so much IP there that would just be like, wow. To see what Nintendo just did with their Direct the other day, right? Where they showed off the N64. It's like that hit of nostalgia. Xbox don't have that. I've got to be honest. Xbox don't, where PlayStation do. But what they can do is they can buy it by having these Final Fantasy, if we bought the whole of Square, having all the original Final Fantasy games in a package that comes only on Xbox. And do you get what I mean by that? It's just, I don't think Xbox have the same nostalgia with people the way Nintendo or PlayStation do. And I think that's fair. Don't get me wrong, we all understand Halo was amazing, we played Halo, but they don't, other than that, I don't feel like we have it that way. And I love Xbox, don't get it twisted, but yeah.
I don't necessarily disagree. To say though, Halo is huge on a nostalgia point for people.
100%.
Which you weren't arguing against, but I'm just like, I want to reaffirm that Halo was huge for people.
No, of course. Hey, if
but
you
yeah,
disagree,
I do
email him, myxboxandmepodcast@gmail.com, or you can hit us up with the hashtag MXAM, or you can be part of the Discord and ask your question or have a conversation with us.
You could also go subscribe to the YouTube page if you haven't. Just want to throw that in there.
You definitely could do that. Joker. Anything else to add on this?
No, I don't. I think we covered it pretty well. We'll wait and see for this. Who knows how this will turn out at the end of the day.
It does make me worried. I will leave that with those comments. It does leave me worried about this game.
Yeah.
But
Quadruple A studio needs to get help. It's a little weird.
But this is their first game.
Absolutely.
So
that's why it's like it's a wait and see game. It's a wait and see thing for this game.
It has to be. It has to. I'm surprised I didn't think of it sooner that they would have to partner with someone.
Yeah, honestly, it kind of reminds me of when Kojima opened up his studio and they worked with Guerrilla Games on the engine and whatnot. This could be a very similar case to that because they didn't really talk about what the help is for. So we don't know exactly what it entails.
Okay. I'm sure we'll find out more information relatively soon. Let's jump into Fixer Sack. Like I said, you can email in my Xbox and me podcast at gmail.com and all the other places that I just previously mentioned. Top question is from Top Lift 91. Having watched some previews, including your own, for Guardians of the Galaxy, how surprised are you that it's changed your mind on the game/gameplay? And your previous thoughts the game looked terrible. I, for one, can't wait to jump in and play. And also are any of you guys getting the Halo Series X or Elite controller? From Top Lift. Yeah, for those who don't understand this, there's a preview up currently over on the My Xbox and Me YouTube channel. Myself and Matt P video sit down to talk about it. I was invited to Square Enix's studio in London, which was... I like going to game studios. Yeah, I as a kid that grew up like wanting to be in this industry, and like now I'm in this weird place where I'm in it, and going to studios is always fun. Again, my jobs, for quick history, I worked in McDonald's, I worked as a refurbisher, and I worked in security, and then I became a full-time content creator. For me, it's super weird that I am being invited to go into central London and then go into these office spaces, and you see in these huge studios, and it doesn't sway me in any way or form, but like it's just cool. Like I remember when I went to Rare for the first time as well, that was like another one of those moments, and this was another one where I was like, this is really cool. This is cool. Like sitting down and seeing where all the people make the games. It's like, yeah, this is interesting. And yeah, but just to clarify it, because you don't quote me here, Top Lift, but are your previous thoughts that the game looked terrible? I don't remember saying the game looked terrible.
I think I said the game looked terrible.
Oh, okay.
Or I don't know if I used the word terrible. Let me be fair. I don't know if I said used the word terrible. I remember not liking how the game looked.
Look, I didn't like how the game looked, but I don't remember saying the game looked terrible. Maybe I did, though. Maybe I did, and if I did, probably a little bit of hyperbolic from me, if we're being totally honest with you. Which, oh, shocker, MC Fixer being hyperbolic. How surprised am I that it changed my mind? Extremely. I went in with absolutely no expectations for this preview. Even when they invited me, I was like, I don't know if I even want to go, because why do I care? Already seen the gameplay. It doesn't really interest me. I said on this podcast 2-3 weeks ago that it looks like more Guardians, and we've already had plenty of Guardians, and I was wrong, to be totally honest with you. I was completely wrong. I still don't think the gameplay never blew me away, but it played way better than what I expected, and it played way better than it looks, which is good. Very arcadey, very interesting. I actually enjoyed telling Groot to do an ability. I have Rocket to do this, Gamora to do that, Drax to do this, go over there, grab a barrel, throw that. I enjoyed that part of the game. I also enjoyed changing the elementals of shooting. The guns have active reload, which I spoke about in my preview as well. If you want like a full in-depth conversation about this, definitely check out the preview we put up on my Xbox and Me. I'm surprised, but it was more the story that really shocks me. It was the story that took me by surprise, that I was super interested in what they were going to do with the story, but I just kind of expected it to be a little bit more of a sit down and this is the story we're telling you. I knew there was going to be like conversation pieces, because we saw that in the trailer that they first showed the game, but I never thought it was going to be interesting. And I have to say, maybe they just showed me all the best bits in the chapter that I played, but I have to say, what I got to play was really interesting, and the story was interesting, and the characters were well written. Sorry?
You keep muting yourself on Discord.
Oh, I don't. Interesting. But yeah, it was very, very interesting. Like, I have to say, it was fun. It was a fun time, and I'm glad that I was wrong about my initial thoughts of it. Did you have any questions that we didn't answer about it, Kresh?
No, not really. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Even like all the previews, your guys preview everything. Like, I'm still not really. It doesn't. It's not excited. I'm sure, like you said, the gameplay was fun. So maybe once
Yeah.
I get to see more of the game and maybe even see people actually like playing a legit portion of the game,
Yeah.
my opinion will change on that. But it still doesn't look like it's for me.
Yeah. And that's fair. And that's fair. And the question of are either of us getting the Halo Series X or the Elite controller? I'm not. No.
I'm not either. Matt P is getting the
Halo
X.
Series X. Matt P
Yes.
is definitely getting it. No, I'm not a collector's edition guy. I have only ever bought one collector's edition in my life, which is the Resident Evil 8 collector's edition, which is super weird. But yeah, no, the collector's editions do nothing for me. They look really nice, but my Xbox is not on show. My Xbox is behind a bunch of monitors, so I don't really get to see it. And to be honest, I don't really need another Series X. I've already got 2 in the house, Haley's and mine, so don't really need one more.
This is your mistake. You should have bought a Series S. So when a collector's edition comes out, you can buy it. I'm waiting for that Gears of War one.
Is that what you're waiting for?
It. Yeah, that's why I bought the S. I told you this literally when the S came out.
Yeah,
that's why
but
I'm
I don't
buying
listen.
the S.
I don't listen.
That's, you know what? I don't think you've said a realer thing in your life.
You know, that's what I do. Next question is from A Wild Yami Enters and says, with Banjo-Kazooie showing up in Nintendo Direct yesterday for the N64 online stuff, do you see rare made N64 games like Diddy Kong Racing and Perfect Dark? Do you think rare made games like Diddy Kong Racing and Perfect Dark will also does this mean that it might be possible for the final Smash character is Master Chief? Do you know you play nice and let out character in the game? Yami, this is poorly written from you. Poorly written from you.
That last part isn't poorly written.
But it's still,
no,
it messed with me. It messed with me.
I get it.
It messed with me. The dyslexia in my brain's already bad. But this messed with me.
I'm gonna be honest.
Don't even bother. Don't even bother. Do I think more games are going to be on N64 from Rare? Yes. If they can get the licensing together, I don't see why not. Like, I don't think Xbox in any way, shape, or form are going to hold them back from wanting to do this. I don't think they see this as a shot at them on their backwards compatibility. Like, these are games that would never, ever come to Xbox. I mean, maybe that's a relationship, something they would try and do, where it's like, hey, if we can do this, can we get these on Xbox in some sort of way or shape? You can have them in your online system and we can sell them at £15 a pop or something. I don't think Nintendo would ever go for it, but it could be a win-win situation. But plus, go on.
It's also, they probably make money off of licensing from these.
Yeah.
So it's like you're getting an income some way. So it's like, you want to put these games that we're not going to sell. Sure, you could do that. Especially like Perfect Dark. I could see that happening closer to a release date or whenever. Just sort of, that's kind of also like advertisement there. Like Perfect Dark's now on whatever.
Yeah.
It gets in people's minds. Master Chief isn't going to be the final character. I hate to break it to you.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Everybody knows it's going to be a Fire Emblem character.
I don't know why Master Chief isn't in it yet. If he's in Fortnite, why is he not in Smash? It must come down to them not asking, right?
Yeah, I don't think Nintendo wants it.
Yeah.
Nintendo has so many of their own IPs, and like I'm sure there's like a world where Nintendo would be interested in it, but I think whatever deal that is just wouldn't work out for that game, for whatever reason. Because they also they have a ton of IP and a ton of characters you want to do, and on top of that, it's like, what's his name? The guy who makes Smash. Why am I forgetting his name? Sakurai? Is it Sakurai?
Sakurai. Yeah, I believe so.
He's always it's characters he's interested in that usually he goes after. So it's also a question of, does he want to make Master Chief? That's another thing. It's not just
Banjo. But you wanted Banjo.
This kid's might have loved Banjo. You don't know.
No way. No way. I'm not having
You don't
that,
know.
Kresh. I'm not having that. Last question isn't a question, but it is from Alderslayer, who says, just wanted to say I've loved listening to the podcast. It is one of the highlights of my week, so thank you for all the hard work and effort you guys put in. It is very much appreciated. It feels great to be able to talk and be excited about Xbox every week again. Thank you very much, Slayer. I do appreciate it. Slayer was actually in my chat talking about you, Kresh, and about how much you have progressed on the podcast as someone who has been listening for a while. And he wanted to tell you that, but he forgot to, so I'll tell you for him.
He also sent me a nice
Oh,
DM
there you
the
go.
other day.
There you go.
Yeah. I forgot to respond to it until today. Look, I just want to say
his feedback, and then he's like, "Yeah, whatever."
I want to apologize.
Anyway.
No, that's really not what it. I'm horrible at messaging. I'm just really generally bad at messaging. So if you ever DM me or message me on anything and I'm late to respond, it is because I'm bad at messaging. I am not a good messaging person. I'm the type of person who sees a response, who gets a message, and I'm like, I'll get to it later, and then later happens to be like a week later, or it's like, do I even respond to it at this point? You know.
Like this story.
You want to go into a segue here?
Sure, let's do it.
We did get an iTunes review.
Hey!
So the iTunes review is from Dead Kamikaze.
Yes.
Titled, great show. Great podcast. Fixer seems to really hate Halo, though, which is odd for an Xbox podcast host. LOL, I kid, Potato Squad for life. And it's a 5-star review.
Hey, 5-star review,
5-star
baby.
review.
Let's go. Let's go. Thank you very much. What was the person's name?
Dead Kamikaze.
Dead Kamikaze, thank you very much for your review. Remember, if you want to review us on iTunes, you can. It helps a great deal. We just charted in Canada at 252. We got to get those numbers up. So if you're in Canada, make sure you drop an iTunes review. Everywhere, drop an iTunes review. It would mean a lot. Even if you don't listen on iTunes, drop an iTunes review for us. If you have an Apple account, you have the ability to do so. So please, please, please do. Any more?
There's a review that got posted in a screenshot to Twitter.
Okay.
It's not on iTunes, and I can't find it on the iTunes, so I don't know if it was reviewed on a different platform or what the case is. But it is from Original Cookie Man.
Okay.
A UK-based host reevaluates his thinking after playing Halo with the boys. The points are hashtag Halo with the and then boys. That's 5-star content right there. No need to learn to grapple with a warthog. Just listen to this entertaining and informative Xbox podcast. In the words of Infinite Wisdom from Kresh and Matt P and Master Chief, get ready. Hashtag I need a weapon. Hashtag wake me when you need me. Hashtag. And it's a 5-star review. It's hashtag. I was a little confused. I was expecting another Halo with the boys there. It didn't pop up.
I said, okay, there's a couple more. Okay, so there's a couple more.
So you see them on your end.
I do see it. I do see it. Okay, so we've got one here which says, it says, good but room for improvement. Like listening to this podcast while working, could be slightly more structured, and MC Fixer could be less judgy of questions. Would have given it a 4, but want to see the guys grow. But overall, a very good podcast. 5 stars. Could be a little bit less judgy with the questions. I can take that on board. That's fair. That's a fair criticism. Let me say this. There was a week, and I think it might have been 2 weeks ago, where I did go a little bit off. I have to admit, I did go a little bit off the handle on one of the questions. I was like, how dare you speak of it like this? And to be fair, I should just shut the hell up. I should just shut the hell up on that one. So I can definitely take that criticism on board. So I will definitely do that. I know you too, Matty boy. Thank you very much for the... Do you think it's Matt P? You think it's Matt P out here?
He's in the conversation with us, and he's like, well, they went too harsh on that. I better
let them know in some way.
Whether it's not, I'm going to imagine it's Matt P now.
We've got another one which says Halo with the boys, 5 stars. Just says Halo with the boys from Little Smitty's other account. Thank you.
I like that review.
Little Smitty also with his normal account, which says great podcast, love the 3-person perspective. Potato, just potato. Fresh like Kresh from Lewis Glover, who says a super fresh podcast, potato every week, baby. So there you have it.
Potato Squad.
We are currently sitting at 80 reviews, sitting at a 4.8 out of 5.
I have a question here right now for you, Fix.
Okay.
Is the iTunes different from the podcast app? Are they two different things?
No.
Okay, so that's weird because the podcast app doesn't have that many reviews for me.
Yeah, it does. Oh, no. I know why. Yours is American. Mine is UK.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So do you have more on there?
That makes sense.
So, okay, how many do we have in America then?
We have 54.
54 overall just in America?
I'm assuming this is just in America.
Well, it is, because I've got 80.
Yeah.
And what are we sitting at out of 5?
Let me see. See all. It doesn't tell me exactly.
Oh,
it's 4.6. 4.6. That's what you're talking about. Yeah, 4.6. 4.6 out of 5.
Yeah.
We have more 1-star. We have a decent amount. It looks like there's a decent amount of 1-star reviews. I'm not gonna lie.
Wow.
wait, can you see?
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
It's a decent amount of 1-star reviews. Yeah.
Damn.
For whatever reason, they don't like. It's not actually like reviews. Like there's no like comments on it. It's just a 1-star review.
It's just
I went through it trying to see what they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a. We got. Look, can you see on mine? One sec.
Yeah,
it's a couple. Like, there's not.
It's a couple. It's not as big as this.
It's not as Americans hate me. Okay. But anyway, keep your feedback coming. We do appreciate it, and like I say, I am not a perfect human being. I 100% can admit that. Although we've been doing it for I've been doing it a very long time. I understand that I'm an opinionated man. I do get that, and that is kind of the attraction and. What's the opposite of attraction? Unattraction, I guess. Of me as a host, I guess, and me doing the podcast. People like to come in and hear what I have to say. There's also this thing of like, there is never any malice in what I'm saying, usually. Like, I'm just talking about it from a point of view that I think will then be entertaining for an hour-long podcast. It isn't like... I'm not like hard on my values with things, and that's why I can definitely take on feedback and definitely laugh at myself and joke at myself and things like that. Like, it's not that serious. It's video games, people. So yeah, but appreciate the people that have dropped. I appreciate the review that gave us 5 stars when they would have gave 4 and told us. I appreciate that a lot. So thank you. Also, should we go on, please?
Just feel free to criticize us, because sometimes. We do the podcast once a week. We get caught into our little things, and sometimes some people don't enjoy that, and sometimes we're in our own little bubble. So criticism of all kind, welcome. Even if you don't think necessarily everybody will agree with you, maybe it's something we can take away and work in some sort of way and adjust. My DMs are open. You are more than welcome to DM me on any social media platform to give feedback. Again, I'm not just talking at you, listener. Boy, girl, non-binary folk, whoever you are in the world, like we're a community. This is something that we spend an hour plus with you once a week when you listen to the show. Like, we are always want to make it better. We are always open to adapting, and yeah, it's a learning curve for us as well. So feedback will be taken on board. Doesn't mean we're gonna put it in necessarily all the time, but I always read the feedback, and we will definitely try our hardest to give a different point of view on things. There's enough podcasts out there that cover the news and here's my opinion on news. It's like that's not us. I'd rather hear your questions, talk about a topic of the show, get through the news at the end, and that is kind of the fun of what my Xbox and me is. So yeah. Let's get into what's been in our box, Kresh. What have you been playing this week, sir? I played what is it called? Why am I forgetting? Age of Empires 4, the tech preview. I played the tech preview. It's more Age of Empires. And to be honest, when I was playing it in my mind, I was like, man, this is just like Age of Mythology. Where's Age of Mythology? Okay. It was enjoyable. I liked it. It was really like what I remember the age games being, and it's nothing new. I will say that it's not like there's no.
I'm sure there is plenty.
From what I had to play, it didn't feel like there was anything new. Granted, I haven't played it forever, so I'm sure maybe if you did a comparison 1-to-1 from Age of Empires 3 to Age of Empires 4, there's new stuff. But from a feel wise, it's sort of like dip in and it feels like you've been home for a little while. You know, you can get comfortable in it right away. Which for some people might not be the great thing. They might have wanted to look for bigger like reinventions in the franchise. For me, that's if it's not broke, don't mess with it. I forget what the saying is off the top of my head right now. It was enjoyable. I'm still very much so looking forward to this game dropping in October.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm not gonna try it out. Kresh, let me tell you a little secret. This should be more of a segment of what has MC Fixer not played.
You've just what have you not played?
Okay, so I've got Life is Strange True Colors, still not played. I've got 12 Minutes, still not played. I've got Blood Hunt, still not played. I've got... What am I missing?
Psychonauts,
still not played. I
feel like you're missing another game.
There's more. I promise you there's more. I know for a fact there's more. I am so busy playing video games, but I know what I've played this new. FIFA 22. I played FIFA 22 for just under 10 hours now. Only played Ultimate Team, so I can only speak about that mode itself. It's more FIFA. No, it's not. It is more FIFA, obviously, but I actually really like the flow of this year's game. It feels very, very, very realistic in terms of its build-up play. For anyone who cares about FIFA or knows about FIFA, when FIFA games to me are always very fast-paced. And PES has always been like the more tactical, slower-paced game. Where this year, I haven't played PES yet, or eFootball as it will be now known, FIFA feels very slow. It feels slower, it feels more tactical. Passing feels a little bit off for me at the moment due to the fact that it's new, and that's kind of the point. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be an interesting one. I'll look forward to playing a lot more.
In comparison to 2K, where would you say, as far as sports games go, which do you think you prefer? Obviously, you've had more time.
They're very different games.
Right, but I'm asking, like, if you had to pick a sports game to play.
So if I only had to play one sports game from now on, what would I pick? NBA.
Yeah, NBA
2K22, 100%. Yeah, it's for all intents and purposes, an RPG, right?
Right, there's the whole open world and whatnot, which is still so weird. Every time I hop into your stream and you're playing and you're running around, it's just so weird.
Yeah, it's an RPG. I'm collecting my dailies. I'm doing there's so much to do in it. There's the cult, there's the career mode in terms of like now this year you can be an artist, you can be a fashion icon, you can like it's what I've always wanted in sports games. I wish the story was better. I wish the cutscenes were better. And I hope that we will eventually get there. Again, I like what they've done with this year's game, though, but I wish I didn't have to. The way it's sort of sectioned out, it doesn't work for me. It is very realistic. Where like, all right, I've got to go talk to this person. It's across town. There's no fast travel. I have to get on my skateboard and skate to there. Like, and I understand why they've done that because they want you in the game longer. And there's little things 2K do that I dislike, but there's a lot of stuff that I do like as well. And yeah, if I had to pick one game, yeah, it would definitely be NBA 2K. That being said, remember from last week, I am sponsored now by NBA, by 2K for NBA. So take everything I say with an absolute pinch of salt.
Right. Okay.
Anything else that I've played? No. I swear I am going to sit down this weekend and play some video games though.
That face says no,
I have to. I don't have a choice. Like, I'm literally running out of time.
Yeah, and more games are about to start dropping.
That's what
as well.
I'm literally running out of time. If I do not start playing some of these games, even to figure out that not for me. Oh, again, Deathloop. I've been playing more of that, but obviously that's not on Xbox at the moment. But I don't think I'm going to finish Deathloop.
Is it because you don't have time, or it's just
no? It's because I think the game's amazing, and I can understand why it's getting 10 out of 10s. But to really understand the game, you need to be able to read, obviously, and I can read, but it's just not my preferred method of storytelling. And this game is extremely heavy with files, and that is the information that you are extracting. That each of the loops is reading and reading and reading and reading. And I saw it was a big thing with I don't know if you know Steve and the Blind Gamer Steve. He said he can't play the game because of accessibility issues, and though it is not that deep for me, I can play the game. I'm not getting as much out of the game for that exact reason. So I don't think I'm going to end up finishing it. And that's a shame, but that's life at the end of the day. And I am of the mind of not every game is made for every person. I could play that game and still have a fantastic time with it from its gameplay alone. But I want to know that story. And right now, I can't experience it like that without really struggling for hours upon hours of reading, and that to me just isn't fun. So yeah, let's jump into this week's dashboard. There isn't too much about it, to be totally honest with you, everybody. First news story is Far Cry 6 won't feature ray tracing on Xbox and PS5. Kresh, you must be very happy because your Xbox can't even do ray tracing. I'm joking. Kresh.
I just want to put that out there.
I'm joking.
When you make a comment like that,
I'm joking.
I just want to put it out there. For those of you guys that are getting shamed by Fix because you have a Series S, I'm with you. Don't get shamed. It's okay. Having a Series S is okay. It might be smaller, but there's nothing wrong with a smaller console.
But there is, isn't there?
No, there's absolutely nothing wrong.
Interesting.
My Series S is small and I'm proud.
Okay, buddy. No problem. Ubisoft has revealed that Far Cry 6 will not feature ray tracing on consoles. This news comes by the way of TechRadar, which reached out to Ubisoft for confirmation after Ubisoft's 3D team lead programmer told WCCF Tech that ray tracing will be a PC-only feature. Alongside ray tracing, AMD's Fidelity FX Super Resolution feature will be, only found on PC as well. Quote, ray tracing is a PC-only feature, Ubisoft told TechRadar in a statement, quote, on console, our objective has been to take advantage of the new hardware's capabilities, optimizing performance, targeting 4K and achieving 60 frames per second. For instance, all while ensuring that the experience on previous generations of consoles would remain consistent. Kresh, how does this make you feel?
This statement is gross, and it
does that so
my core.
Am I reading this right, and am I taking it right? We are not getting ray tracing on next gen because they had to optimize the old gen version.
That's partly what it sounds like. It could also be taken as they prioritized 4K over ray tracing as well, which either way you cut it, I'm not a fan of. I think they could have done 1440p in ray tracing and it would have looked in the long run much better, but I understand 4K is the bigger buzzword.
Yeah, but I guess
I understand
people probably don't even know what, from a casual point of view as well, most people probably don't even know what
ray tracing is.
Yeah. Unfortunately. Next up, Halo Infinite Dev explains multiplayer challenges to ease worry about progression. This is something we spoke about a couple of weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken, about how the progression system is. So yeah, talk to me.
Yeah, this is just an update on that where they basically said there's 16 to 18 hours of daily challenges, so you won't run out of daily challenges to do, and this was sort of more to ease players' minds about the way the system works. Which who knows how it'll end up. I still personally am not a huge fan of the sound of it, but who knows how it'll end up working out. The best thing we can do is wait and see at the end of the day. And
so what actually gets said? Is there anything concrete here that helps? Yeah, I've got the quote. At launch, we anticipate that, on average, it should take a player 16 to 18 hours of playing and eventually winning before they run out of daily challenges. That isn't long.
Yeah.
But for hardcore players, that isn't long. For casuals, obviously, that's long. But for people that are going to commit their lives to Halo, and there's going to be a lot of people that are going to, that isn't a lot of hours.
Yeah, but I don't know if that resets weekly or how that works.
Well, it does say it's a daily challenge, but I assume...
Yeah, but I don't know if that... Because if it's a daily and it resets daily, I think 16 to 18 hours is fine. Nobody's playing 24 hours a day. Yeah. Let me actually, like... I don't think it really, like, specifies all this stuff. So I really think it's like a wait and see for this. They do seem very open to changing it as well to make it as good as possible, and that's part of why... the flights are here, so we'll see what this week's flight and next week's flight how things look. Also, I'm sure they'll keep updating it, and from the sounds of it, I think 343 is also willing to change how it works to make it as good as possible for the player to feel as nice as they can. So I'm optimistic for it. They're also keeping a very open dialogue with it, which is always a good sign in my opinion. The worst thing you can do is do something like Respawn does with Apex and their whole battle pass system, where people complained about it and they just sort of went silent on it and they never really commented on it.
Yeah.
So I think the line of dialogue is the most important part for me. I do agree. I think that depending how it works, 15 to 18 hours could be fine, or it could be not enough for somebody who's hardcore. But then again, should a game be designed for hardcore players? Another question that's brought up, and that's a completely different conversation.
I'm optimistic, and like you say, I think transparency is key at this point. And if they are open to changing it and they are doing all these tests and things like that, that can only be a good sign for the game, to be totally honest.
Yeah.
Last piece, and one more piece of news after this, apologies. Respawn responds to its own employees. Titanfall's comments, quote, "Who knows what the future holds?" If you didn't see this, Respawn tweeted this out on the official Respawn account, saying, "Contrary to what folks are reporting, Titanfall is the very core of our DNA. Who knows what the future holds?" So,
as somebody who recently played Titanfall 2 and fell in love with it, and it's a fantastic game. If you haven't played it, it's on Game Pass. Go play it. It's fantastic.
Why should they listen to you? You didn't listen to us when we told you to at first.
You never told me to play it.
I definitely told you to play it.
You never told me to play it.
You're drunk.
I might be. You don't know. This comment is a whole bunch of... It's BS, right? We can agree that this comment's BS. This comment's like, people are mad that we're not making a Titanfall. Let's throw out something that gives them hope, whether it's solid or not.
Yeah, I think the problem with this quote is it gets people hyped about Titanfall. And realistically, in the next 3 years, I don't think we see another Titanfall.
Yeah, even if like this, there's some semblance of truth, it'd be that it's far out. It's far out.
I think there is some resemblance of truth. I definitely think there's truth here, but
you want to know what the truth is?
There's
absolute truth. You want to know what the truth is? No, not even that they thought about it. They're currently working on it. They've been developing it for the past 2-3 years. It's Apex Legends.
Oh my god, that's a damn.
It's not wrong.
I didn't say you were wrong, but that hurts. That hurts. Damn. Moving on, last story of the week. Konami's eFootball doesn't support cross-save or cross-progression yet. This is a really weird one, right? Because I remember when eFootball got announced, and one of their key selling points was the fact that it would have cross-play and cross-save. But it's not there yet. Following IGN's 2-hour hands-on preview of eFootball, Konami confirmed to IGN that eFootball does not currently support cross-progression or cross-save between different platforms. However, we aspire to include this in the future. So if you're someone who's looking forward to the new eFootball title, you may be a little bit less enthusiastic now. Let's plug and get ourselves out of it. Kresh, what have you got to plug this week, my friend?
My Xbox and YouTube page. You guys got 1 week to get 26 subs, so we can have Halo with the boys. If not, no Halo with the boys ever.
Damn.
Ever.
Kresh is
Ever. No, I'm very serious.
Kresh is not going to play Halo Infinite with me ever if you don't do this.
Campaign call comes out. It's like, let's play it. We could do it for the channel, whatnot. No Halo with the boys.
No, I'm not doing it. I refuse. You can find me everywhere at MC Fixer. The big thing I'd like to push is my main channel, my main YouTube channel, youtube.com/MC Fixer. Like I said beforehand last week, I have lost, because I've been posting on the channel. Shocker. I've lost around about 40 subs. So if you're someone who does consume YouTube content, I post a load of stuff over there, a lot of reaction content, some let's plays, stuff like that. I would love it if you could go and hit the subscribe button over on that channel. I just put out a sponsored video with 2K, and obviously, as I'm sure most of you know and enjoy, this podcast being ad-free and free for everyone. There's not really much we gate off. We got to pay the bill. So if you can go and watch and like and comment on that 2K video that I've put out, there will be a couple more coming out relatively soonish. I would love it to get support on that video specifically, though, because they're going to be checking the numbers for it, obviously. But yeah, if you can keep supporting us, we will keep supporting you. And until next time, we will love you, leave you, and see you all later. Keep being amazing, and goodbye.
Goodbye.